Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to Unparalleled Universe for another action figure review. And today we're taking a look at the San Diego Comic-Con 2023 exclusive Masters of the Universe MasterVerse Motherboard. And before we get into this review, I want to give a huge thank you to the folks over at Mattel for sending this out to me to review. I think it looks awesome and I'm looking forward to talking about it. So let's go ahead and get right into it, starting off with the packaging. So they really went all out with the packaging. First off, it comes in this cardboard looking mailer type of box. It has some really nice artwork on it. And the thing I like about this the most is that it matches packaging from previous MasterVerse exclusives. I think that's cool. But once you take that off, the box that the figure actually comes in is it's pretty damn awesome. There's all kinds of really cool artwork all the way around the outside, and then you're able to open up the front, and when you open it up, you could see the figure right there in the center looking freaking awesome, and the rest of the packaging just looks amazing. Like, this could be used for some type of diorama or something, so I think that is really dope. But yeah, motherboard looks awesome right there. Very almost creepy and just has a huge presence to her, you know? So the way she looks in the box is pretty awesome. I think that's the way that I'm going to display her. But enough about the pretty box. Let's go ahead and get motherboard out and take a look. Alrighty, so here we have motherboard right out of the box. And man, I've got to say, this thing is pretty incredible. I really like the way that she turned out. When I saw it in the box, I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. But once I took her out, man, I was really impressed with what we have going on here. There's a lot of good stuff. She has a presence to her. It's very strong. She's going to look awesome next to your MasterVerse figures. And I think that's really going to be the main appeal for this. It's going to be mostly like a display piece because it's not really like you could pick this figure up and play with it and pose it around. She does have decent articulation, but for the most part, it's pretty basic. And she's big and has a lot of stuff going on. So this isn't really going to be the most hand-friendly figure. But as far as putting it on the shelf and centering your whole MasterVerse display around her, it's going to be perfect for that. And check out these wings. So these wings have a pretty impressive wingspan. Look at that. And look how sturdy she is even when the wings are spread out all the way. That is impressive, man. But look at that. That is such a dope looking figure. She does have the soft goods cape and it looks really nice too. All the stitching is really well done, and I like the colors too, how it fades from light blue to dark blue. I think that is very cool. But yeah, look at this. Really, really dope. Those wings are crazy. Sorry, my setup here isn't necessarily equipped to review 12-inch figures. I don't do that too often, but we're going to do what we can. But yeah, man, I really like the way that she looks. The main thing I like about it is that it just has a very strong presence to it. And I think it's going to look really cool on the shelf along with other MasterVerse figures. As far as sculpting and details go, they did a really great job with the details on the face and this thing around her neck, the collar piece and the wings and all that. It's extremely well done. The body does have kind of a smooth kind of look to it. And, you know, that makes sense because she is kind of like a technological being, I guess you could say. But it all looks really nice. The paint is pretty good too. I will say there were a couple of small imperfections, nothing major, but just a couple of things here and there. For the most part, it does look really good. But man, this is an incredible looking figure. Like I said, I just love the presence that she has, and I think she's gonna look amazing next to other MasterVerse figures. But man, this is a crazy exclusive. Yeah, this is pretty ambitious, you know. I like the way it turned out. And then for accessories, she really doesn't come with a whole lot. She has 2 sets of hands, including one set of open clawed hands and then another set of gripping hands. I'm not really sure what she would grip with these, but you know, whatever. And then aside from that, she comes with a really cool looking stand that does hold her very securely. And you could actually take this whole stand and place it on the inside of the packaging and it can be held in there as well. So not really a whole lot of accessories, but you know, for something like this, I'm not really sure what type of accessories you could expect. Some energy effects or something would have been cool, but you know, aside from that, I'm not really sure what they could have thrown in there. And then for some size comparisons, here we have motherboard alongside the MasterVerse Revelations Triclops and the MasterVerse Revelations Trapjaw. And I do think that they look really nice next to her. You know, I think that Mattel did a great job on both of these characters, especially in regards to the soft goods. And when I saw the soft goods on motherboard, I was kind of surprised because I was like, man, this is really nice. But they have done some nice soft goods in the past with these two characters. I don't think they do a good job with it every single time, but as far as these three go, it's probably the best soft goods that we've seen on any of the MasterVerse figures. So I'm glad to see that the quality of soft goods on motherboard matches the quality on Triclops and Trapjaw. And then next up, we have her alongside the MasterVerse Revelation Skeletor and He-Man. And yeah, see, this Skeletor figure has a soft goods cape, but it's nowhere near the quality of the cape on Motherboard or even Triclops and Trapjaw. Like, the soft goods on him isn't all that great. Obviously, he was in the first wave, so, they needed to work out the kinks. But I'm happy to see that they've kind of improved on the soft goods, and I'm sure they'll continue to do so. But I still think that these figures do look great next to Motherboard. And then next up, we have Motherboard alongside the MasterVerse Revelations Beastman and MasterVerse Revelations Evil Lyn. And then next up, we have her alongside the MasterVerse Revelations Man-at-Arms and Tila. And then here we have her alongside the MasterVerse Revelations Merman and the MasterVerse Princess of Power Hordak, I think. I think that's what that one's called, right? Let me know in the comments. I don't know. But anyways, I do think that Motherboard looks really good next to the other MasterVerse figures. Like I said, she just looks big and intimidating next to them. I'd imagine that any one of them would be afraid of her. It just kind of gives off that feeling. But yeah, she looks good, and I think she scales well. And when it comes to articulation, obviously you're not going to be able to get her into the most dynamic poses ever, but I really don't think that articulation was a focal point when they put this figure together. She does have some things going on, but not a whole lot. But really, in my opinion, with a character like this, you really don't need all that much articulation. As long as she could stand there and look ominous and have a cool, strong shelf presence, then I think the figure does the job for the character. And, even with that said, she does have some articulation, so you could get some, minimal movement out of her just for, little subtle type of poses, but nothing over the top. But honestly, in my opinion, it's perfectly fine. I'm completely okay with the articulation. I think it works very well for this type of character, and at the end of the day, it all works together and does the job successfully, so I'm happy with it. But let's go ahead and take a look starting off at the head. So she does have a ball joint at the head, so it is able to move side to side. And then she does have a little bit of tilt going on. She could look up only to about right there, and then she could look down to right there, which is pretty decent. And then for the torso, she does have a diaphragm cut, so we get some nice side-to-side movement. She can move back to about right there, but it is a little hindered because of the cape and the wings and everything. And then she's able to crunch forward to right there, which is actually pretty good, and that could help her look down. And then for the arms, not a whole lot going on. You could bring her arms up to right here. And, they could go all the way around if you remove the collar and the wings and stuff. But with those on, it could only go up to right there. Maybe a little higher. Yeah, they could go up higher, but it just kind of pushes the collar. She does not have any upper bicep swivel. She has a single jointed elbow that does have a swivel. So that's nice. And a hinge. There we go. And then for the hands, she has a swivel and a hinge. So yeah, not too bad at the arms. And then let's see what else we have going on. The wings are really impressive. So there's a couple of ball joints in the wings. Right here we have a ball joint that hinges forward and it rotates if you need it to. And then right here we have a ball joint that just hinges. It doesn't really rotate. But yeah, look at that. That's pretty cool. I like the different options for the wings. You could have them in front of her or to the side or retracted or expanded. So nice stuff with the wings. And then for the legs, there's not a whole lot going on. She could move her leg forward to right there, and that's pretty much it. There's no upper thigh swivel or anything like that. She could kick her leg out to the side. Again, this kind of feels like useless to talk about because you're not going to be doing this with this figure. She does have single jointed knees, and then at the foot, she has a hinge, which it was a little tight. I think this one was good to go. Yeah, there we go. It could hinge up to right there, hinge down to right there, and then she has rocking ankles. And all the joints are very, very tight and not too tight to where it feels like it's a struggle to bend them, but everything is sturdy and tight, which is really good for a bigger figure like this. So yeah, like I said, it's not like the most articulated figure ever. It's not a Spider-Man or anything like that, so it's not like she needs a crazy amount of articulation. Just like enough for some minimal poses is definitely enough for a character like this that is just gonna stand there and look crazy. I doubt that she has a bunch of scenes in the shows where she's jumping around and being acrobatic. I think for the most part she kind of just stands there. But yeah, even though she doesn't have a lot of articulation, I think it's serviceable for the character, and I'm completely happy with what we have going on here. Alrighty, so overall, at the end of the day, when the smoke clears, the dust settles, and it's all said and done, I think that this is a really, really dope piece. I love the way she looks. She's really well sculpted. The paintwork is pretty nice throughout the whole figure, although there are a couple of small imperfections. Nothing major, but for the most part, everything looks really good. And the figure just really has a very striking presence. She's going to look awesome on the shelf alongside all the other MasterVerse figures. She doesn't have a whole lot of articulation, but you really don't come to this type of thing for the articulation. It's not really the type of figure that you're going to want to pick up and pose around and play with. So, you know, that's perfectly fine. As far as the accessories go, she doesn't come with a whole lot. It would have been cool if she came with some energy effects or something, but you know, in a case like this, I think it's really about the figure itself as opposed to articulation and accessories. I think that she pretty much she does the job that she needs to do, in my opinion. And I think it's a really, really nice piece. And, you know, for me, for something like this, you know, some of the things that I value in action figures, like articulation and fun factor, playability, all those types of things, that's not really what I'm going to be looking for in this type of figure. I kind of see it more like a diorama or something. And the way that I kind of judge something like this is how well it's going to complement the rest of my MasterVerse collection. And in that regard, I think that she's going to look amazing. She's going to look, the whole shelf look insane, having all the other characters kind of gathered around her, you know. It's a cool centerpiece for your display, and I think that she came out really, really dope. So I'm very happy with this. Huge thank you once again to Mattel for sending this out to me. And if you're interested in getting this, you could pick it up at Comic-Con, or you could pick it up on Mattel Creations, I think a little bit after Comic-Con or during Comic-Con. So if you're interested in this, I suggest you check it out. You know, there's no guarantee that they'll re-release their Comic-Con exclusives. In previous years, they've kind of done it. The first time they had a MasterVerse exclusive, it was Scareglow. They did release a standard version, but I think it was slightly different. And then last year, they had the 2-pack with the 40th anniversary He-Man and Skeletor. They did release He-Man, but not Skeletor, so they kind of left something out. Who knows what they'll do with this? So if you want it, I suggest you jump onto Mattel Creations, or if you're at Comic-Con, pick it up there. But yeah, man, I think that she's an awesome piece, and I'm very happy to have it. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Also, be sure to hit the bell notification so you know every time that I go live. Thank you very much. Peace.